Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Always exciting.
This time, we're diving into
So-
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah,
But
always a good one.
it's going to be a little different.
Okay.
Because we're going to be treating this fictional world
Right.
as a source of some really fascinating insights.
I like it.
Kind of like a magical thought experiment.
Yeah, I love that idea. It's like using a pensieve
Right.
to examine not just the memories,
Yeah.
but the underlying human psychology and
Yeah.
societal forces at play
Exactly.
in this world.
To make things even more interesting,
Okay.
we've got excerpts from the book itself,
Oh, nice.
plus some extra behind-the-scenes material to give us even more to work with.
That always adds a layer of depth.
Yeah.
It's like having access to Dumbledore's personal notes on these characters and events.
So tell me, have you ever wondered what a story like Harry Potter
Oh, yeah.
can teach us about psychology, power dynamics, or even ethical dilemmas?
Absolutely. One of the things that makes this book so captivating is how it mirrors real-world issues, but through this
Right.
fantastical lens.
It's like a funhouse mirror,
Yeah.
reflecting familiar themes, but distorting them just enough to make us see them in a new light.
Absolutely.
And speaking of reflections, one of the first things that struck me about this book is how it starts.
Okay.
We're not at Hogwarts.
Interesting.
We're with the Prime Minister.
You're right.
Not your typical start to a magical school year.
It's brilliant. I think it's a brilliant move by Rowling. By juxtaposing the Prime Minister's world
Right.
with the magical world, she immediately highlights the impact
Right.
of this hidden society on the ordinary one.
Yeah.
It's like realizing there's an entire operating system running beneath the one you thought you knew.
And then we have Fudge, the outgoing Minister of Magic,
Oh, yeah.
who seems completely out of his depth. He's almost drowning in secrets, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And what's interesting here is how this portrayal of Fudge speaks to the burdens of leadership.
Right.
Particularly when dealing with information that the public isn't privy to. It makes you think about the choices leaders have to make,
Yeah.
the information they choose to share, and the potential consequences of those decisions.
Right.
It's like they're constantly walking a tightrope between transparency and security.
Speaking of walking a tightrope,
Okay.
let's talk about Severus Snape.
Oh, yes.
Talk about a character shrouded in mystery.
Definitely.
From the very first pages, there's this tension surrounding him, this question of where his true loyalties lie.
Snape is a masterclass in psychological complexity.
Right.
He embodies the idea that actions can be driven by a mixture of motives.
Yeah.
Some noble, some less so.
Huh?
He's not simply good or bad,
Right.
but a blend of both, making him all the more human and relatable, despite being a wizard.
He's a living embodiment of the gray areas of morality.
Right.
It makes you wonder if we all have a bit of Snape within us,
Interesting.
capable of both great love and deep resentment.
That's a fascinating point.
Yeah.
What if we all have the capacity for both darkness and light within us?
Right.
It's like those old alchemical texts seeking to balance opposing forces to achieve something greater.
Yeah.
Snape embodies that struggle,
Yeah.
and it forces us to confront our own internal complexities.
And then there's Draco Malfoy,
All right.
from his clandestine visit to Borgin and Burke's to his odd reaction with Madame Melkin.
Yeah.
It's clear he's caught in a web of something far more dangerous
Right.
than teenage mischief.
What's striking about Draco in this book is how he represents the vulnerability of youth,
Yeah.
especially when faced with pressure and manipulation from powerful figures.
Right.
It's like he's being molded into a weapon,
Yeah.
and the consequences are slowly dawning on him, but he feels powerless to escape.
It's like watching a train barreling towards a disaster.
Right.
And you can see the fear in the passengers' eyes,
Yeah.
but they can't pull the brake. That scene with Madame Melkin, where he flinches when she brushes his arm,
Oh, yeah.
sent chills down my spine.
Yeah.
It hinted at a hidden burden,
Uh-huh.
perhaps a mark of something sinister.
Exactly. It's those subtle details
Right.
that Rowling uses to foreshadow the psychological turmoil brewing beneath the surface.
Yeah.
It makes you consider the weight of expectations
Right.
and how they can twist even the most well-intentioned individuals.
It's a good reminder that even those who seem privileged can be trapped in their own kind of gilded cage.
Absolutely. Welcome back to our deep dive into Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Right.
We left off talking about all the pressures young Draco's facing.
Yeah.
But there's another character whose motivations are all about influence and connection.
Yeah.
Horace Slughorn.
Yeah, Horace Slughorn.
His slug club is like a microcosm
Oh, yeah.
of social climbing and ambition.
It's true. Slughorn surrounds himself with those he perceives as having potential.
Yeah.
Those who might bring him some reflected glory.
Yeah. Right.
It makes you think about the dynamics of mentorship and networking and how those relationships can sometimes be more about self-interest than genuine support.
That's such a keen observation.
Yeah.
Slughorn's character raises questions about the ethical boundaries of mentorship.
Right.
Is he genuinely invested in these students, or is he simply collecting them like prized possessions, hoping to benefit from their future success?
And then just when you think we're settling into another year of Hogwarts shenanigans, bam, the attack on Katie Bell with that cursed necklace reminds us that the world outside the castle walls is growing increasingly dangerous.
That incident is so pivotal because it shatters that illusion of safety that Hogwarts usually provides.
Right.
Suddenly, even seemingly innocuous objects become potential weapons, and fear permeates the very air they breathe. It's a brilliant way for Rowling to illustrate the psychological impact of living under a constant threat.
It makes you realize how quickly normalcy can be disrupted.
Yeah.
How easily a sense of security can be shattered.
Precisely. And I think it also speaks to the insidious nature of dark magic in this world.
Yeah.
It doesn't always announce itself with dramatic flair.
Right.
It can be subtle, hidden,
Right.
all the more terrifying for it.
And this brings us back to the central mystery.
Okay.
The memory Slughorn is so desperately trying to suppress. Why is it so important to Dumbledore, and what does it reveal about the nature of memory itself?
This is where Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince delves into some fascinating psychological territory. Dumbledore's relentless pursuit of this memory suggests that our past experiences, even those we try to bury, have a profound impact on who we are and the choices we make. It's like he's saying we can't truly understand ourselves or others without confronting the shadows of our past.
And through the pensive.
Right.
We get to do just that, literally dive into those shadows.
Yeah.
We see snippets of Voldemort's childhood, his fascination with magic, but also early signs of cruelty and a chilling detachment from others.
Right.
It's a glimpse into the making of a villain, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. What's so compelling about these pensive scenes is how they challenge the simplistic notion of born evil.
Right.
We see that even someone like Voldemort had a beginning, a story that shaped him, albeit a tragic and twisted one.
Yeah.
It raises questions about the nature versus nurture debate.
Yeah.
How much of who we are is predetermined, and how much is shaped by our environment and experiences.
It makes you wonder if there was a turning point, a moment where things could have gone differently for Tom Riddle.
Yeah.
Perhaps with a different upbringing, different influences, he might have chosen a different path.
That's a question that haunts the entire series, isn't it?
Yeah.
The possibility of redemption.
Right.
The idea that even those who seem irredeemably lost might have had the potential for good within them.
And then there's the horrifying concept of Horcruxes. These fragments of soul hidden within objects designed to achieve a twisted form of immortality.
Yeah.
It seems Voldemort fears death above all else.
The lengths to which Voldemort goes to escape death raise profound questions about the human desire for power and control. He's so consumed by fear that he's willing to fracture his very soul to violate the natural order of life and death. Makes you think about the true cost of such ambition. The spiritual and moral bankruptcy that can come with clinging to power at any cost.
It's like he's trying to cheat the system, but ultimately he's only cheating himself.
Exactly. He's isolating himself, becoming less human, less capable of genuine connection and empathy. The irony, of course, is that this desperate pursuit of immortality only makes him more vulnerable in the end.
It's a fascinating paradox.
It is.
And then, of course, there's that devastating climax of this book,
Right.
Dumbledore's death at the hands of Severus Snape.
Yeah.
The Astronomy Tower scene is a whirlwind of betrayal, sacrifice, and a complete blurring of the lines between good and evil.
Right.
It leaves you reeling, wondering if anything you thought you knew about these characters was true.
That scene is so brilliantly crafted because it forces us to confront the limitations of our own perception.
Right.
We, like Harry, have been conditioned to see Snape as a threat, and yet we're confronted with this act of seemingly ultimate betrayal by someone Dumbledore trusted implicitly. It throws everything into question, leaving us grappling with the uncomfortable truth that sometimes the people we think we know best are capable of actions we never would have imagined.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. We've grappled with betrayal, questioned our assumptions about characters, and now as we head into the final stretch of this book, the biggest mystery remains. What is the truth about Severus Snape?
Snape is a character who defies easy categorization. He's a master manipulator, capable of cruelty and coldness. Yet we also see glimpses of deep-seated pain and unwavering loyalty. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces constantly shift and change, depending on the light.
Throughout this book, we've seen him through Harry's eyes. A figure of suspicion, even fear. But Dumbledore always maintained that Snape was on their side. Could he have been so wrong about someone he trusted so deeply?
This is where the theme of trust becomes so central to the narrative. Dumbledore, despite the doubts of others, placed immense faith in Snape. It makes us consider the nature of trust itself. The leaps of faith we sometimes have to take, even when facing incomplete information. It's like a high-stakes gamble with the fate of the wizarding world hanging in the balance.
But if we're talking about gambles and risks, let's not forget the mysterious Half-Blood Prince. The potions textbook, filled with ingenious spells and scribbled notes, has been both a help and a source of danger for Harry. Who is this enigmatic figure, and what does their legacy reveal about Snape?
The Half-Blood Prince's identity serves as a brilliant narrative device. It keeps us guessing. Makes us question every interaction Snape has with Harry. And ultimately forces us to reevaluate our assumptions about both characters. It's like realizing you've been looking at a painting the wrong way. And suddenly the entire composition shifts before your eyes.
And when we finally learn that Snape is the Half-Blood Prince, it's not just a shock, it's a revelation that adds layers of complexity to his character.
Precisely. It's a masterstroke of storytelling because it doesn't simply answer a question. It unlocks a whole new set of questions about Snape's past, his motivations, and the choices he's made. It shows us that even those who seem hardened and cynical can have a hidden wellspring of passion and, dare I say, love.
And that love, as we discover, is rooted in his deep connection to Lily Potter, Harry's mother. This revelation casts Snape's actions in a whole new light. It's as if we've been given a key to decipher a code we didn't even know existed.
The depth of Snape's love for Lily is both heartbreaking and thought-provoking. It raises questions about the nature of love itself, its power to shape our choices, to drive us to acts of both incredible selflessness and, in Snape's case, questionable morality. It makes you wonder if love can truly justify actions that cause pain or harm to others, even if those actions are done in the name of protection.
It's a complex ethical dilemma.
It is.
And in the end, we see that Snape's love for Lily fuels his ultimate sacrifice. His decision to protect Harry, even at the cost of his own life and reputation. It's a redemption arc that defies expectations.
It does.
Leaving us to grapple with the messy realities of human nature.
Snape's story reminds us that judging a person solely on their actions without understanding the underlying motivations can lead to a dangerously incomplete picture. It's a powerful message about empathy, forgiveness, and the enduring power of love, even in the face of loss and regret.
So as we close the book on Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, we're left with a whirlwind of emotions. Sadness for Dumbledore's loss, a newfound understanding of Snape's complexities, and a sense of anticipation for the final battle that awaits Harry.
This book has taken us on a journey through the darkest corners of the human psyche, explored the depths of love and loss, and reminded us that even in a world of magic, the choices we make have profound consequences.
And that's the beauty of a deep dive like this. It's not just about understanding the story. It's about using that story as a lens to examine our own lives, our own beliefs, and the choices we make every day.
If you enjoyed this exploration of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and following us for more deep dives into the worlds of literature, history, and beyond.
And if you're feeling extra generous, consider supporting us on Patreon.
Yes.
Your contributions help us keep these deep dives flowing. You can find the link in the episode description.
Thank you for joining us on this magical journey.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep diving deep.